Welcome back to another video. This one is going to focus on the various shapes that Smart has and some of the actions that you can do with those shapes. So I've already created a blank page and I have renamed it so you can see shapes right here below. So your shapes are going to be right here. You can probably tell. You have a couple different options. Notice you have a perfect circle, you have ovals, lots of good things. If you drop this down, you'll see even more options that you have. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the arrow to kind of insert that, so it's a click and drag. And again, anytime you need to select something about the shape and change it, make sure you choose the select tool. I'm even going to go ahead and rotate it to the side, pretend like it's pointing to something on the side. To change the color and the outline, you're going to still choose that same color box that we've seen. I'm going to choose a light green, and notice line colors right next to it. So done. Change the color. All that good stuff. If you need to copy any of these shapes, you always have that arrow right here, and you'll see clone or Control D or Command D to duplicate. So you can make lots of arrows. If you need to make lots and lots, like infinite many arrows, you have an infinite clone option. This is going to be great for any kind of manipulatives. This could be coins, algebra tiles, anything that you need that you're going to use a lot of. T-diagrams, timelines, anything that you plan on using multiple times. So once you do that, it doesn't look like it does anything, but you'll see this infinite option right here, and then you just click and drag as many as you need. All the arrows in the world. So and then notice I can just select them all. So I click on the white and drag, and then I press the delete key. So that gets rid of all these little bitty extra ones that I don't need. So infinite clone, you can always turn that off. So now I'm going to show you how to group something. So this is great with hints and tips and tricks throughout your notes that you're giving to your kids. So I just typed E, notice it created a text box. I'm going to put tip. And I'm going to move it and put it right on top of my arrow. And you can always change again. Go back, change the font. Now I want to group it with the arrow. So when I click one object, both of them move. So I like to select the outside and drag so I can see both are selected. Click one of those drop down arrows and come all the way down to where you see group. Now it's one object and everything moves. So now let's say I'm going to add another tip. Don't forget to, maybe it's a note or a misconception. And again, maybe I want to change the font. So that could be for students. Maybe it could be an answer. So let's say you want to build the answers into your notes ahead of time, or you want to build sounds, links, things like that. So now here's my favorite part. I'm going to group again. Drop down arrow, group, and group. Still one thing, but here's the best part about Smart is I'm going to push this little arrow to the side. So when I open my notes with my kids, I can use my pen or my finger, and I'm going to drag this, and now I can reveal answers from the side of the page. So it just kind of stores them. So that's a really, really fun trick for kids. It's just to kind of add answers and questions along the side through your notes. The other type of shape I like to use for the last part of the task is this little thought bubble or text bubble. So I'm going to draw one right here. Same thing, choose the select tool because I'm going to change something about it. I'm going to fill it maybe with a light yellow and a yellow outline. And now I'm going to put some text on top. So maybe this is a question again for students. Could be a thought or a quick write maybe throughout your lesson. Again, I'll change the font, make it centered. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this, I'm going to use that copy or that clone skill. And now I'm going to have a question here. Have you thought about compare and contrast? Right, should spell that. There it is. Notice that font's kind of big, so I'm going to make it in the center. I'm going to shrink it up. Do the same thing. Select those two objects. I'm going to group them. So now you're wondering, now why would I make two different thought bubbles? So here's the best part. This one, oops, looks like I didn't group that one. So let me group this together too. And group. So now what I'm going to do is, I'd like the question for students to be on top. So the order is going to need to change. Same thing, go back to that gray box, order, bring to the front. And I'm going to put it right on top, almost like it's hiding. Here's my favorite part. Properties again. Object animation is one of your options. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to click fade out. So now when my kids I want to ask questions throughout, or definitions or anything, again, pre-work ahead of time, I'm in the moment, I can click that little bubble, and now I have a question right on top of that. So those are some really fun things to do with some of the shapes that you have in Smart. Lots of other shapes, feel free to check out. You have the X's and the checks. The X's I've used during an interactive game, so maybe I want to make these red. And I know maybe when they're done with one of the questions, maybe it's a bingo game, it's a Jeopardy game. I did an Angry Birds game where they clicked on the bird and it gave them a question, but I needed to remember which bird they hit. So I used 1X and made an infinite clone so that I could do X's on the things that I needed. Great for a hangman game, great for lots of little interactive activities. Thanks for watching, and try some of these shapes and explore a little bit more.